My name's Brendan Fairclough and I'm a professional cyclist. Yeah, dude! We're currently on episode 2. We're in the lovely little ski village of Châtel in France. Came here because I wanted to mix it up. I wanted to get some bikes on the snow. You know, that's not something that people see every day. So really different for me, you know. I've only ridden on the snow a handful of times. Doesn't always go as well as planned. The bikes obviously weren't meant for the snow.
Episode 2, we're in Chatel. He is riding a Vinny T, local Chatel shredder, and has got some amazing home trails.
Vinny T is a rider I've been following for the last, 5 years, seeing him come up through the ranks, and obviously a fellow rampage rider himself. I've been watching him there, and I thought he's got such a unique, free ride style. I think it's very different to my own. So I thought that the pair of us would make some cool viewing.
I really know Vinny T through, I think, all those amazing helmet cams. So on his Instagram, he's got quite a big following for all his gully trails, and it's rad to see that is actually what we're riding, his wicked gully trails.
Had his tracks that he's been riding for the last 10 years. He knows them inside out. It's actually been a bit of a struggle for me to keep up with him some of the time. That's kept me on my toes. He's a real free rider. He's not interested in racing at all, which is cool. He just loves riding his bike and getting sideways.
Sick! So good. Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously we're mixing it up, coming over to the Alps in the winter, which is actually pretty rare for me. I normally come to the Alps in the summer.
We sometimes don't always book the hire car, so a travel agent ends up booking the hire cars.
A normal hire car doesn't really cut the mustard.
We've got all of us to fit in. I said a Ford S-Max, now we've got a Renault Scenics, and they had no minivans free. We've got downhill bikes, we've got helicopters, we've got red cameras. If anyone's good at car Jenga, watch this. Oh no, this is gonna...
This hire car said 7-seater, but I instantly knew that just means some sort of people carrier.
We're not even gonna get the bike yet.
So I have a bike, we have race drones, we've got tripods, red cameras, all sorts of stuff going on. So we've all got a lot of kit, and the hire car didn't manage it.
Hold on, Nico's in here!
So we had to strap my bike to the roof.
That's a bit of body armour for the car. Don't see a problem.
Luckily we had a roll of duct tape in the bag, and the bike was getting taped to the roof. I mean, I've never actually done it before. I was so dubious it wouldn't fall off. We always had an hour-and-a-half drive down motorways, up mountains. So we gave it a few good layers of duct tape.
Do you want to give it a sturdy check? Oh! The bike was taped to the roof and off we went.
First challenge was actually getting out of the car park, because underground car parks aren't that high, and we just added a good 20-30 centimetres to the roof, and a kind of big car already, but I think we had about, I'm going to say, that much gap to make out the car park. But hey, all we had to do was duct tape it on again if it fell off. Down the motorway, I mean, I guess the main thing in the motorway was we didn't want it falling off and anyone hitting it behind, but I guess on the mountain roads, if it fell off, we'd just be collecting it down the road somewhere.
So we pulled up into Chatel, bike's still on the roof, thankfully, to meet our coordinator in Chatel, Jim. Had a quick chat to him about logistics. It was pretty cool, actually. He really helped us out. We had snowcats, we had snowmobiles, we had ski patrol. We're coming into the next day pretty confident. There he is. Turning up to see all these big bright lights and these massive machines, it was pretty James Bond stuff. So when he says we're in the snowcat, I don't think we're in the snowcat, I think we're in the basket of the snowcat. Feels pretty weird what we're doing right now. Completely pitch black, just bombing up the piste, and my bike is bolted in the front. We wanted to get to the top of the mountain for first light, just to give ourselves all the chance we can to get the best shots.
Slippery, of course, but I think Brendan will be really good at that. Yeah.
we were up there, me and Vinny were keen to get down the hill and do our first practice run. So we set off at the top. It was still pretty dark. We set off down the slope, and it's a pretty long slope, you know, so we're figuring it out. And it took a while for us to get back up on that one, when we're just learning logistics and figuring out how to pack the bikes and the snowmobile and all sorts of stuff. And unfortunately, we missed a banger sunrise on the first day. But we missed it, but there's a couple of amazing drone shots of it. Dude, it was insane. Like, it worked way better than I expected. We were kind of chilling, and Vinny's got an app on his phone, and we were doing 83k an hour, just chilling. We're doing a hundy for sure. Always the first time on anything, you're a bit like anticipating the worst, or you don't know how it's going to work. And we were lucky. We were lucky. It's really cold up there, so the snow was perfect for us. As soon as I did the first one, I was like, okay, this is going to be good. Up on the piste, it's super hard when you're going that fast to know where the other rider was. So if Vinny was in front, obviously I could keep with him, but when he was behind, I didn't really know where he was. He was going to cut in front of me or what was going on. And we had a couple of close shaves, and one time he like jumps in front, back slides out. Oh my God! Dude! That was an insane moment!
It's amazing how quick they get up to speed straight away. It seems pretty crash-proof because it's such a wide piste. Vinny crashed, which was just sliding down the piste. It seemed pretty soft in the scheme of things. There's nothing really to hit. Snow kind of seems safe, but you are going pretty ridiculous speeds.
So on this shoot, I thought it was super important to have a race drone guy with us. So we've got Andy Lawrence with us on this shoot, flying down those slopes at 100 k's an hour. I told him at the beginning of the week, I was like, look Andy, don't be nervous of hitting us with your drone. That's almost better if you hit us. So we have to be off the slopes by 9 or 9:30, because obviously all the skiers are coming on, and as much as I'd like to fly around all the skiers, there's a bit of a danger to them and us. I think we're gonna go have some lunch or breakfast, and then head over to Vinny's place and ride in the woods, get some dirt on the tyres. Don't tell everyone, but the edit's going to look like it's one track, us bombing down the slopes and then into dirt. We're actually 40 minutes drive away. Some of Vinny's tracks that we're lucky enough for him to show us around, so I'm going to go check him out now. When I decided to film with Vinny, I knew all about his amazing trails. I'd like followed him on Instagram, and I think he's kind of famous for his like GoPro follow cams and stuff down that trail. So when I got in there, it exceeded my expectations, you know, and so did Vinny. He's flying down there.
So Vinny's been riding there for about 10 years. I mean, it definitely shows, and it's very Vinny T. His free ridey lines, big Scandi flicks into bank. And I think for Brendan it's cool as well to come somewhere with such different riding style, where Vinny just kills it and Brendan's just following and hanging on.
Woo! Sick! So good.
So this is a Movi, and it's a kind of 3-axis gimbal, and it basically means that I can run around and be real wobbly and the camera stays dead steady.
Yeah, race drone in there, it's just amazing if you can make it work. And yeah, obviously that comes along with some accidents. I think in the trees he's crashed into a couple and maybe the drone's had a bit of a hard time, but equally, we've got some amazing shots from it.
I crashed into the tree.
Day one went super well. Obviously, the first time on the snow, everyone's sort of checking it out. Everyone's just figuring out how everything works and getting the logistics dialed. And now we know what we need and what we want and how it works. The snow was cool. We're coming into the next day pretty confident. We're on a new part of the mountain. We're trying to get some sunny banger shots today. The slopes are so cool where we've been, but I've got a vision of just blue skies and me and Vinny just bombing down with roosts coming everywhere. Gonna try a new location.
So this morning we are on the top of Châtel. We will have the sunrise actually just facing the slope, which is perfect. In Châtel we have 3 different starts for the slopes. This one is one of the most famous because it starts from the village. At the background is the Mont Blanc, so a famous one, and the top of Europe.
But that's where we were, all the way over there. And now we're in this epic red run, and the sun should come up and light the slope up perfectly.
And on Vinny's app we did 115k an hour. And we honestly just like playing like this, huh? Yeah. If I pedalled in and tucked, 150 for sure. So much fun to ride. Huge high fives at the bottom and just loving it. It was really fast. We knew it was going to be a good morning. That's sick! All the trees around it and the sun's poking its head up there. This makes it, that's kind of what I was envisaging. We moved down the hill a little bit more to like a blue slope, and it was a bit more of a shorter slope. It was more in the trees. Good way to sort of have it transitioning from the slopes into the trees, then into the woods. So we had a little blue run, quite short, a button lift up. It was easy for me and Vinny to bang out runs, and way easier to coordinate with all the filmers, tell them where to go, where the best spots are.
Used to getting covered in roost. Snow obviously is softer, but Bren comes flying past the lens and covered my camera. And I mean, snow melts pretty quick, especially when your camera's quite warm.
The boys got a bit of powder on them that day.
There's all these natural rollers and lumps and these mega drifty turns, which worked out perfectly. So the boys could be a bit more playful and yeah, start drifting into these turns. Chatel's really sorted us out this trip, giving us all the mountain patrols to come up in the morning. They've all been mega helpful, close the slope for us, which is cool. I think some of them do bike as well and do bike patrols, so it's cool that those guys were as passionate and just giving us constant runs, picking the boys up. We need to drop them off here and here.
So we got in the woods to see this massive rock, which really kind of looks out of place in that woods. There's no other rocks that big. I first looked and I was like, that doesn't look too bad, you know, like obviously just coming from Rampage and riding off crazy stuff out there. But then when I looked at the running, I was thinking, right, this is the real deal. This is pretty damn scary.
Traditionally, what I've done the last time in the video, I say traditionally I've done the last one out of one. I think that was a one-time only thing, because I don't really fancy riding down there.
And if you fall off the North Shore, I don't think it's very good for you. It's just broken down trees and about probably like a 12-foot drop.
Vinny tested it out. The run up looks sketch. Here we go. Okay.
I was actually honestly scared. But you got to the top, I was like...
We really wanted to try to get both of us on the rock at the same time, and I knew how hard that was going to be. Obviously on the top of the rock there's only space for one person, one bike. Now Vinny's following me. For me it's easy, but for Vinny it's harder. Unless I'm at the top and then Vinny like shunts me off.
Don't let jealousy hurt you. Stop this, get right. Stop this, get right.
It's fun.
That is so cool!
That's good.
Got the rock out of the way, thankfully. I was a bit nervous of that coming into it. I just thought the running looked super sketchy. Yeah, so the end of day 2 in the woods, we walked the boys out the rest of the track so all the filmers could see what we were up against the next couple of days, and we had some super cool gullies that we were going to go hit. So yeah, it was good to show the lads that. Yeah, so day 3 we headed up on the first piste again. We just wanted to get that amazing sunrise shot with Mont Blanc in the background. And obviously Chris Seeger went up there to go check it out, how he wants to get his shot. And he stuck his foot in the snow and he just nearly fell off the side of the mountain.
Quite an edge, and I thought I'd walk not even that near, but we realised that's where the edge is and my foot's just dug in. So not the best.
Bit of an eye-opener to where we were and how dangerous it is up there, and yeah, we didn't go near that edge anymore. So always the start of an edit is always super important. That banger first intro shot. I was up there, the drones were flying around, the sun was coming up, Mont Blanc in the background. It's pretty cool. I was stoked on how that turned out.
All right, well, 3, 2,
Yeah, so we're back on the piste on day 3, just getting more clips of the same like high-speed piste bombing.
oh, sick! That's a cool one.
Bangers.
Got them. Hour and a half on the slopes and we're done.
Finished with the slopes, we're back in the woods. We're going to concentrate on getting stuff we need for the edit in the woods. So we're coming to the end of the shoot now, just these jumps and a gully to film. Vinny's been prepping them up ready for us. It's pretty sick, can't wait to ride them.
Digging a bit before the ride. It was a bit icy.
Vinny's jumps, they were amazing, you know. Couldn't keep up with him on his tricks, but that's why we needed him in. We needed to open him up. Yeah, it was cool to see.
They try to put a wall over my eyes, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Jesus, this! Thank you, survive.
Put it on a silver screen, every actor wanna be in my vision is stay tunnel. Attitude is disgruntled, I've been discontent. Now it's time to start running. I've been hot for years, even if you didn't know it. Dropped the hottest album of the year and they ain't even show it. I don't need no validation on my classification. I'm just trying to move up and better my situation.
I was trying to buzz the tree and I cased the jump a little bit. I nearly rode into the back of Milky.
There's actually 2 gullies next to each other where both riders are going to get their own little section, pinning it down the gully.
So episode 2 has gone just how I imagined it. You know, I wanted snow bombing, I wanted big massive features in the woods. Following Vinny down at 50 miles an hour through trees and gullies has been an amazing experience, and obviously the jumps to top it off worked out super good. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and everyone's safe and sound and everyone killed it. Thanks for watching. Stoked to show you guys how these shoots go down and how it's not just a one-day process. There's so many different aspects involved.
And this is episode 2 of Dog's Life.
That's insane. That is so cool.
I don't know what to do or what I'm gonna say. Another man is sheep just losing his way. You live your life out of a weak magazine. I never thought you would wanna just feed the machine. Feed the machine. Feed the machine. Feed the machine. You keep your mind down, man, I dare your heart. Yeah, dude. My screaming soul, I'm fine, just ready to start. Your mouth is quiet, but your soul wants to scream. I never thought you would wanna just feed the machine. Feed the machine. Feed the machine. Feed the machine.
Just feed the
machine. Feed the machine. Feed the machine.
For episode 3, we're here in the Western Cape in South Africa.
Holy sh**!
We've brought Amory Pirion along with us. The guy doesn't really need introducing.
That is insane!